Welcome, world. I'm Joanne DeFrancisco of 513 Entertainment, and today you're with Band Together International interviewing UK-based band Revival Black.
My pulse is racing faster, and there's nowhere to hide. I can't escape the siren song. I'll bring the earth, you bring the storm. Watch the thunder and lightning. Thought I was dreaming, open up my eyes. Down, right away. Take me to the end of the line. Sit down, right away. Take me to
Welcome, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Hey, how's it going? You all right?
Thanks for joining in today. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to kick off with a little bit of intro so that everybody knows who you are and what you do. On lead vocals, we have Dan Byrne. And just holler out if I'm not pronouncing your name right, please.
No, spot on.
Okay. Alan
Adam.
Rimmer. Alan Rimmer on lead and rhythm guitar.
Hi.
Adam is a Kerbach or Kerbaki.
Gosh. Don't worry, no one ever gets it first time. It's
Right.
Kerbach.
On rhythm guitar and backup vocals. And then we have
that's
Ash
right.
James.
Yep.
All right. On drums and backup vocals. And Jamie Hayward on bass and backup vocals as well.
Yeah, close Jamie Hayward.
Okay. Well, I was that close to having a little gold star this time. My name's not actually easy to pronounce either. So, it's one of those things.
I feel your pain.
Exactly. So let's start with how did you guys all meet and start to form Revival Black?
I think it's like, well, the four of us were like, the four of us, like me, Adam, Ash, and Jamie, we're all playing music together. We were like looking for a singer, and then Ash mentioned Dan. Dan popped up, and I think it's just stemmed from there.
Great. How long have you been together?
About a year and a half.
Yeah, as Revival Black, we're just touching, maybe even just past a year and a half now. Just before we announced Revival Black, we were in the studio recording some of the songs that you will have heard as Revival Black. But in that space of time, it's been just this really crazy, chaotic year. And unfortunately, it was cut short now due to the virus and stuff. So the past half a year hasn't really seen much. But especially the first year altogether has been absolutely mental, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everybody's really struggling with the fact that they can't get out there and support their new album releases. Thank goodness that we have social media platforms and, you can still manage to stay relevant, with your fan base because they miss coming to your shows. So, it's good that the bands are staying out there and they're putting things up and they're, putting little jam sessions together because, it's what helps to keep you guys first and foremost in your fans' minds. So, thank you for doing all that.
No, it's been I also think as well, the fact that bands have the opportunity to do certain live streams, or for instance, we did a few Q&A sessions on our band page, and it's something that you otherwise wouldn't really think about doing until you're forced into that situation.
Sure.
Because obviously we probably wouldn't have thought of doing a Q&A or as many live streams or little videos while we were on tour, for instance, because we were seeing fans every single weekend. But given the fact that we can't go out and play our local venues and the rest of it, it creates new opportunities in a way. But we are very much wanting to play music again.
Oh yeah. I can only imagine because I'm an agent as well. So this has halted everything that I do. Hence the reason why I started doing Band Together International. because everybody just wants to stay in the spotlight, and rightfully so, especially with a new album. By the way, congratulations on Step in Line.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you.
It's really cool. You guys have a lot of supporting videos for your music on that album, and that's fantastic. Because a lot of times, when albums get released, they, there's maybe one, maybe two videos for each one. But you guys, I think you have like what, 4 or 5
Four.
out there?
Oh,
4.
it's 5, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
There was method of madness really though, because obviously arriving as a new band and nobody's heard our music before,
Right.
It's very difficult to then go, well, here's an album and 1 video.
Right.
Then everyone's kind of going, who are you guys?
Right.
So the idea of releasing several singles and trying to release as many proper music videos as possible,
Right.
it gives a little bit of insight or, knowledge or anything behind the band rather than just pushing out an album and going, make what you will of this.
Do you know what's funny? Like you say that as if like for the next album we're not speaking about doing like 5 or 6 more videos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna go. It's like it's gonna be even bigger now, isn't it? It's gonna get ridiculous.
But it was, if you remember, it was originally going to be more, wasn't it? Because our manager was basically saying, "Go hard, do as many as you can." And it came to that, like, when you're looking at your budget and stuff, we're like, right, yeah, it's not going to happen. So we picked what we felt was the best ones and thought, right, let's put as many out we can with the budget we've got.
Right. And, it's expensive to do, your full-blown video productions. So even if you can do like the ones, where you just have the video with the black screen and your logo and then the words, that's great too, because people are still, you're still getting your name out there, and you're still, giving people a lot of options. And, you do have the one video that I love every one of your songs. Your videos are really cool as well. But I like the one video where you really get to see how your band interacts when you're out, like doing your shows and everything.
Nice.
I think that was it's a great idea, because, when you have these like staged videos and things, people don't really get a sense of what you guys are about as this cohesive unit that forms Revival Black. And to see that, it's really cool, because people are like, what it does, at least from an agent's perspective and from a fan's perspective, is it lets your fans see how much fun you guys are. And nobody wants to come to a boring show. You all know that. You've probably seen, a lot yourselves. You go to a boring show where the guys on stage and the band don't really look like they're interacting with each other. Oh, we have a friend.
Yeah. He does this every time you try to do something, she gets in the way.
I love that.
Yeah, she's gone now. Sorry about that. No, she's coming back. There she comes.
Noises and that's me going on.
Well, at least it's a cat. I have a dachshund in the other room, and when we do the videos, I kind of put him to bed. I give him a couple treats, and I pray that he doesn't bark. He's already let me down a couple times.
Well, she was asleep about 2 minutes ago, and I think she heard everyone talking, and now she's back.
I guess he's back.
That's so cute.
She always wants to be involved.
Yeah.
We're doing a blooper reel.
Yeah.
My editor and I, probably, in a few months from now, when we have 15 or 20 videos, we're going to do these series of bloopers, and we've got some good stuff. So if anything goes awry in the middle of an interview, I can't guarantee that you won't see it somewhere down the line. But we'll try to be respectful in case you don't want it in there.
But that's really relevant, actually, because the music video you're talking about is practically a blooper reel of all of the stuff. So it's,
It was. That's what I liked about it, though. Anybody can shoot a video, and and there it is, and it's done and it's over with. But when you enter that live life, that living your life kind of factor, it's great, because it gives you a sense of relatability to your fans.
But that's
right now I have a visitor in my space with me right now that is flying around my head. So if you see me do that every once in a while, there you go, another blooper.
Yeah, last night I had a little visitor at 6:30 in the morning. I got stung by a wasp. I've never been stung by a wasp in my life, and it woke me up. And
you were asleep and it got you?
I was asleep and it got me. First ever time.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a great wake-up call. Better than an alarm clock. Yeah, I woke everybody up with with one of your songs this morning. You'll see that on Facebook. I tagged you guys on it. I love doing that. You guys have received quite a few awards last year. Do you want to tell us about what happened? Because that's amazing.
I think the primary one we're probably thinking of is so the New Wave of Classic Rock in the UK is, I would say it's almost the equivalent of the New Wave of British heavy metal when we had Saxon and Iron Maiden and, you know, all of the bands that are mega now. And there's a huge revival of, no pun intended, of bands. And in the UK, there's so many good bands. And to be in contention with these bands every single year and doing the same circuit as them, obviously there's going to be a lot of clashes in terms of album releases and single releases and
Right.
all the rest of it. And obviously last year was when we released our debut album, and the admins over at the group, which has now got, you know, tens of thousands of
20 odd thousand in it.
Yeah. So there's a group vote and there's an admin's vote, and the guys that run this New Wave of Classic Rock, who have done wonders for the music scene, voted our album album of the year, which is just incredible, because that was alongside some of our favorite bands, some of the best bands around at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
It was very humbling, because it's a big shock. You don't expect to get it, especially on a first album. So,
Right. That's great, because I saw some of the contenders that you were up with. And, you know, it was a tough competition.
Yeah.
And you know, to win that this soon out of the gate is really impressive. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
It's just the quality of music being produced in the UK at the moment is second to none. Honestly, I know. Obviously, I imagine the American market as well is full of fantastic music, up and coming, and, you know, from the heavy hitters. But
like we've all grew up in the UK rock scene in many different bands and anything, and to be honest, it's in the best state it's ever been. I think, like, obviously, like in the, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s and stuff, it was fantastic. But now it is in the best like shape it's been in years.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you, once this pandemic thing calms down and, you know, music can get back to where it was, I'll tell you, people aren't going to know who to go to see first.
Yeah.
You know, especially
music being written during lockdown as well, like, and
yeah. I mean, it's crazy. There's so many bands out right now. I think the one thing that the UK and European markets have to their advantage right now is, you know, and I don't know a whole lot about your music scene. You know, I'm learning because of what I've been doing lately. But in the US, we have a lot of like that. I don't even know how to describe it. More of digitalized music rather than, you know, having a full band backing a singer.
Yeah.
And,
like,
you know,
pop kind of.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own. And, you know, I respect all kinds of music, but, you know, you're not getting that full presence of the whole band when you don't have that full band behind you. And I don't see that presence as much, especially in the UK, that we're seeing right now in this influx in the US.
I think it's just, it's say it was the 80s again. There'll be so many more bands. Well, because there's never been a lack of the bands, or, you know, like, as you say, like, the problem is it's where the focus lies in terms of the media and the charts. And unfortunately, in the 80s, as you said earlier, even prior to the interview, it was very much, rock music was the pop music of the time anyway. And even though there was pop music, all of the bands that we look up to and, you know, the music that we play, that was all in the charts alongside, you know, classic songs and Madonna, you know, anyone. And nowadays, there's not, although it is slightly changing, the focus on the position in the charts or album charts or singles charts, it's very rare a rock band will make it into there. Just see a number of people consuming indie music or pop music or folk or whatever you want to.
We're getting a few here now, like, because in the last few years we've had Royal Blood, Those Damn Crows, and Massive Wagons all in the mainstream charts.
Right.
So it's picking up a lot over here.
Those were in the last 6 months. We've had two of these new wave of classic rock bands actually break into the charts, into the album charts, which is a huge step in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing a rock resurgence. You know, the way that it used to be, and you know, put musicians back into the limelight instead of having, you know, things digitally enhanced, and you know, it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just more exciting of a show. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Makes for better videos too. So, did you guys have any time after the release of your album to actually get out there to do some live shows before everything shut down, or was it bang and it was over?
Almost instantly, weren't it?
Yeah. We didn't have much time to even dwell on the album per se. It was because I think you also interviewed Wayne from Scarlet Rebels.
Yes.
But we did a co-headline tour with Scarlet Rebels, and we both basically did it in pursuit of our debut album. So they had Show Your Colours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we had Step in Line, and the pair of us were basically touring these two albums on a 26-date headline tour.
Oh, nice.
Across the UK. Unfortunately, it was cut short because it dragged into the March, April area. But we started it in January this year, and we got around a fair few cities before it was postponed.
We only had like 4 dates left, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it went.
Well, that's not bad. Good for you.
Yeah, so we're really good friends with Scarlet Rebels now. We were anyway. We knew the lads before the tour, and we had a good laugh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's a shame it was cut short, but like as I say, like both albums. Well, we love our album, and as we should be proud of it. And they've released a great album themselves. So it's one of them where having the chance to go around to venues or cities we've never even been to before.
Right.
Like we turned up in it was like the far east of England on Valentine's Day to a full house, and like, how on earth has this happened?
Wow.
Because we never, I don't think any single person here had been to Norwich. So that's where we went to, and it was packed.
That's great.
Yeah, and we just walk in going, how on earth is this happening?
It's like, hi.
Yeah.
Here with the band.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, it's good that you had the opportunity to actually get that many shows in, because, you know, after the first of the year, it's like, it just seemed like it just had this gradual down, and then just leveled out to nothing.
I think we took a bit of a risk when we planned the tour,
right?
Because we decided we were going to start it in January, and originally it wasn't going to go on for as long as it was, but because us and Scarlet Rebels were on the same management, we were all in contact, and we were like, oh well, we should go here, we should go there,
right?
But we said we'll start it in January, and with it being so soon after Christmas and money and stuff, we were like, you know, is it gonna work? Are we gonna have the first month of just empty nights? And like, lads, what was it like? Like, January was mad. It was, every night was full, and it, you know, couldn't have asked for a better start, really.
Oh yeah, well, that's fantastic. You're right. You can't ask for a better start than that. And that must have been. And I wish I could have been to your neck of the woods to see that show. It must have been awesome. That was a great choice to double bill with. Definitely.
Yeah. And the weird thing is, it's normally the curse of touring just after Christmas, because obviously everyone spent money on presents, and
right.
Very few bands tour early in the year, especially January, February.
Mm-hmm.
But we just thought, like, there's no reason why not. Like, if you want to go and see a band, they'll go and see a band. So it was a brave move, but I think personally, and I'm sure we all did, it was a bold move, but it definitely paid off.
That's great. Good to hear. I'm really happy about that.
Thank you.
Wide Awake. I was listening to that this morning. It really is a standout single. That's the one I woke everybody up with. I'm sure they love that.
Very appropriate.
Yeah. And you know, when I was reading the you know, the reviews on it, it says that it showcases your ability to express your rock vibe, your searing guitar riffs, and heart-thumping backbeats. And it compared you, and I love this comparison, as the bastard son of Slash and Alter Bridge. That, you know, from people who really appreciate music, you really can't get to be a better bastard child than to those two, you know, performers or bands. So were they influences of yours, or they, you know, were you guys fans of them before you started, you know, making your own music? And
yeah, I mean, everyone's smirking because everyone knows that, like, pretty much as a whole, everyone's a huge fan of Guns N' Roses. So that's because there's been comparisons to the Appetite for Destruction album and Step in Line, and every single time that has popped up or we've been tagged in something that says that, we go like, "Are you kidding?" Because that's an album everyone grew up with here, and the other lads can probably say even more than I can. I mean, I love the album, but I mean, Ash, you have a tattoo, don't you? So it's
I've got the album cover tattooed on my arm. Yeah. But it was me and Rimmer. Absolutely. It was the album that pretty much started me playing, and I remember you saying the same thing.
Yeah, it was. Well, to be fair, if you think about it, me and you actually met at the GNR gig 2012
in Liverpool. Yeah,
which I went.
So was he. I only knew Rimmer.
Yeah.
So we were all there.
Yeah, but again, like we're all huge Alter Bridge fans, so the fact that Slash and Miles Kennedy themselves, that's another group where it's like, so that comparison or anything to do with that comparison is only good news to us.
Oh, absolutely. Probably one of my top songs in the whole world is "World on Fire."
Yeah, it's a great song.
The first time I heard that song, I was driving. I was in my car. It was like 4:00 in the morning. Don't ask. It was like 4 a.m, and I'm coming home, and they said it was a new release, and I turned it up a little bit, and I was just floored. I didn't even realize how fast I was driving. And man, you talk about a song and just like
that whole
okay,
album.
well, there you go.
That whole World on Fire album's amazing though. Like, I think isn't that like collectively everyone's favourite like Slash album?
Yeah. Like, it was like when you had Apocalyptic Love, you thought, how are you going to get any better than that?
Right.
And then World on Fire showed up, and it was like, oh, like that.
Yeah, like just like that. Just like that. You topped yourselves. Were there any other influences that you guys had when you were, and I hate to even say younger because you are younger, that you really think influenced you to do what you're doing right now?
Yeah, there's the thing. We all have similar music tastes. Obviously, it ranges from more bluesy side to even glam side. Like what my favorite singer of all time is David Coverdale from Whitesnake. So it's
virtual. I'm gonna virtual high five you on that.
It's one of them. I grew up with it because my dad always made me listen to Whitesnake, and
oh yeah,
it's in your roots then, isn't it? And when you've grew up with something, it's all So a lot of my characteristic voice wise would be Coverdale-esque. And does anyone else want to? I know Blackstone Cherry, another one that it's huge.
I think Aerosmith are a massive influence on me, like the guitar playing in that band. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think like obviously Slash and stuff, as you said, but.
Yeah.
I don't know, like there's all kinds of guitar players. Like I love like people like Doug Aldrich, but then like people like new kind of artists like Jared James Nichols and Tyler Bryant, people like that. So I think it's good to have like a good range of like different styles and techniques of playing because it just like shows what you're doing. So.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think that's what's so special about it as well. We all listen to like the same type of music, but we all have different influences. We all love different genres. We branch off. Yeah.
Yeah. Range.
Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear that bluesy riff in there too. I like that. That's a nice little mix in what you guys already do.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Were you saying something, Adam? I don't hope I didn't cut you off.
Oh no, as I said, no, we've got quite a range of like different influences. Like we've got like Jimmy was saying, pretty much like we all like some similar stuff. But we've got like different ranges, like some was like thrash, some was like the 80s stuff, some was like the more modern stuff. So I know it just comes together very well, I think.
We always say about Dan, if a song wasn't released that week, he won't listen to it. So very much the release radar of the band. He knows everyone. I think that's been released. So.
Well, it's like when he has the van playlist on.
10 minutes.
Yeah, when we got the van playlist on, we're sitting there going, Dan, who's that? I've never heard that before. You're like, oh yeah, it came out last week. And, like,
Wow.
and he does it constantly.
Came out 45 minutes ago.
You have your finger on the pulse, Adam?
That's me. That it's it's one of them. I don't know. It's good to stay up to date because you also want to be aware of what people are releasing that's brand new. And obviously, if someone's getting a certain traction for a certain reason, it's good to be able to follow trends or at least be aware of the trends.
Right.
To know basically who's doing well, who isn't. You know, again, like you said, it's like finger on the pulse kind of thing. But it's
And knowing your competition makes you stronger.
well, exactly, and it's always friendly competitions. We're not out there going they're crap and they're crap. It's a case of going like these are a really good band. We either want to tour with them or tour next to them and see if you can pull the crowds or again it was like Scarlet Rebels. We had a co-headline tour, so each night one of us would headline. We picked out names out of a hat to know where we'd be headlining.
Right.
And again, it's like we love each other, and it was one of them where it was just going, well, we're going to go out that night and try and blow them out the water. They'll go out the next night and try and and it's
right.
Like,
even our own manager said, didn't he? He went right. These are all mates, but try and top each other each night.
Absolutely.
No holds barred.
It makes it a better band.
It
Yeah.
just makes a good gig, doesn't it?
Oh, and it makes it so much more fun for your fans too.
Exactly.
Because every night you're going out there and trying to be the better act, and that just makes both bands so much stronger and so much more. The energy on the stage must have been amazing.
Oh, it really was, especially when both bands are really on form and we're just trying to basically, it's like fine tuning the little bits of the set each night then to go, how can we make this just the slightest bit better? And
Right.
might be like a sing along in this song, or is it crowd participation, or if we run around the stage and do something, just anything, but they'll help give a bit more excitement to the show.
Absolutely. Handing out shots to the fans,
Yeah, exactly.
sharing your beer. I noticed that there was a mention of that little bit of 70s influence in your music.
Yeah.
That was in your bio. Who pulled that into it, or was that something that collectively you guys said, there's certain music in the 70s that we really liked? And
Don't think
that's
we
more
planned for it.
What?
Don't think we planned for it.
No, I think it's just being aware of music, and it was more an assessment of our sound as opposed to someone just heavily influenced on the 70s, for instance.
Right.
I think that's probably just me sitting there listening to like Aerosmith and Fleetwood Mac on like.
Well, I was brought up on Zeppelin.
Yeah.
So,
I love Van Halen, and is he?
And again,
Yeah.
some vocals for me is like early Paul Rodgers, and it's one of them where I think everyone draws from influences. So John Bonham on drums, for instance, that's going to have a very distinct sound.
right.
If that comes through into a modern sound, you then go, oh, well, that sounds modern with a hint of something from the 70s
Right.
or 80s. So it's more of a characteristic of the sound as opposed to us just going, let's sound like
Right.
the Doors or something. So
It's quite a decade.
yeah.
I think it's just like I don't think we actually plan to do it. I think we just write music that we like to listen to.
Right. Sure.
Like it's just I think the influence of like music is the biggest thing on how we write. Like as opposed to like thinking let's write like that type thing. So
Right. And you can sample all of those pieces of things that you were really impressed by, and you end up incorporating them. And sometimes it makes a song, like there's a couple songs on your album that are a little bit different in influence than the others, and it's kind of cool to hear that mix, because it's like it doesn't make you look like you're single focused. It definitely gives you that diverse characteristic in your music that I think people really like.
It's good to hear that though, because obviously you don't want to go into the studio and every single song to sound like a dot to dot layout, or like this is from this band, or because at the end of the day, a good song is a good song. So if we're sitting in the room and go, oh yeah, well this sounds great, let's go through this, and it sounds completely different to a different song,
Right.
but it's still us playing the song, so we can almost guarantee there's going to be some edge to it where it sounds, oh, that sounds like Revival Black.
Right.
Despite the fact it may be like more 70s or 80s or however it comes across to, because every listener probably hears it completely differently themselves. Obviously, some people like bands and don't like bands, so it's It's down to the listener to decide who or what we may sound like, but we just write music we love.
Absolutely. So tell me what it's like to come to a Revival Black live show. What's your energy like on the stage? I love that. You could be. We're not PG rated.
Yeah. No. To be fair, very sweaty. Very sweaty.
A lot of energy.
I have to dodge up Jamie's headstock every 4 seconds because he'll be spinning the.
I never see in Rimmer's face. He does. Yeah. He's got like that cool, like rocking back and forth, Joe Perry-esque vibe sort of thing, but you never see his face.
Nope. I was looking in the videos. I was like.
It's very hard to find a photo of him with his face.
No, I need to get a better haircut, really, don't I?
I think I'm going to say better face.
I'm not.
I think we can all do one of those.
Debatable as well, I guess.
Yeah, in terms of the live show, I think it actually developed as the shows went on the tour. So we went out on the first night and we expected Scarlet Rebels to headline. But then due to the fact that, like, because they're coming from South Wales, which is compared to America, not that much of a trek, but in the UK, it can be yeah, they were coming down. They said, "Oh, we're running a bit late. Do you mind if you headline the first night?" So for the first day, we were going, "Oh, okay," on the back foot, saying we're gonna have to ramp up the headline set, and then from that kind of kick up the backside, it was very much let's put as much energy as possible into every single show.
Sure.
There's some days where we had a stage the size of the bed I'm sitting on, or there's some days we had on the size of like a bloody stadium. So it was one of them where you make use of the whole stage. Obviously, Ash can't. He's stuck in one space.
Doesn't matter where I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Tried a few new tunes as well during the first couple of shows, see how they went like, and one of them became a sort of staple of the show, like, and so it was always a fun thing to do, you know, mess about with different tunes and positions in the set, like.
Because we were writing towards the second album, and we still are, and we just thought that to try and road test one or two songs that we're going to be may or may not be releasing. We thought we'd get a good reaction on how it would go down live and see if they went down as well as we thought they would.
Right.
And to our surprise, one of them went down so well that it stayed in the set for the rest of the tour, which is may or may not be the next song we're going to be releasing.
Right. Well, just think, you know, by the time you guys are going to be able to get to play out, you'll have probably 2 albums under your belt, which is great because, you know, you get to play different music every night, really. If you think about it, if you're doing a, you know, a co-headlining tour or whatever, you know, you'll be able to expose the new music and, you know, you hate to say older because it's only a year old, but I mean, it's great to have the downtime, and a lot of musicians are taking advantage of this, where they're saying, you know what, we've got nothing but time. Let's put out a second release, and you know, it's going well. I mean, as long as the stuff is getting airplay, that's great. And you know,
exactly,
we're all here to try to encourage that and try to get people to support, you know, the original music that's out there. So I'm excited for your next one to come out. So hopefully when you release that and you guys go on to be big rock stars around the world, you'll come back and do an interview with me.
Absolutely.
And we can talk about cats walking in the background and Corona.
You can do one from the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I would love. Well, I'm actually batting around the idea pretty seriously about bringing one of the bands that I went on tour with last year to the UK, and partnering up with a Priory. They were my first UK band that I interviewed.
A Priory.
Yeah.
So they supported us in Blackpool not too long ago, and they were, I think, our favourite band. They were the one band we stood back and kind of went, they're really good.
Right. Right.
And it was a really good show. It was like a full day festival, but they were local to the area, I think, as well. But yeah, no, really impressed by that. That's actually, they're really good.
Yeah, it's when I come over there, you know, you want to get the biggest bang for your buck when you're traveling that type of distance. So I said, you know, I'm one of those people that, you know, even if I go over there, bring one of my bands over there for a tour, I'd like to stay because there's a second half of Band Together International that I'm going to be rolling out probably, I'm going to say in the beginning of next year, where I'm actually doing a live series, which means, you know, I come to your area and I go to see a live show and either do an interview before the show or an interview when you come off stage. So that's going to be, you know, there's already plans for part 2. So, but if I come over there, I'm coming for a month. There's no sense in me flying over there and, you know, staying for a week or 2.
Weekend.
You just can't, you know, I want to get the full scope of everything that goes on over in the UK for your music scene, and then hopefully go to Sweden and go to one of Age of Reflection shows. So, you know, the more bands that I work with, you know, in other countries, the more appealing it is for me to keep my passport intact and you know, just go on the road.
Especially at the moment.
God help me and anybody who travels with me for that long being away from home. So, can you describe what your writing process is? You know, a lot of bands do things differently. Some like to create the lyrics first, and then they introduce, you know, different pieces of, you know, the instruments into that, or do you do it in the reverse?
The other way.
Yeah, the reverse.
We normally start with like a guitar, like some kind of idea, and then like we usually say like come up with a riff and develop a kind of, you know, a few ideas based around it, and then bring it into like the rehearsal room, and then we'll have a look at it type thing. But like over lockdown, we've got like a Google Drive. We've made like a folder, and like we all just throw stuff into that and see, you know, just kind of see what sticks, and then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's been working about, yeah, it's kind of the way we've always done it, really. You know, guitar ideas first, and then.
Right.
Yeah, it's
and
usually been guitar
just
first,
build all
like,
around that.
Yeah.
It was a weird one at the start of lockdown, though, because obviously we weren't even allowed to go into the same rehearsal room.
Wow.
So the whole idea of us putting it into a Google Drive, we used to bring it to just the rehearsal room, we'll jam something and go, oh, this will work, we can develop on this idea.
Right.
But the first few weeks, we couldn't even meet up to jam an idea or anything. So it was very much, let's just see what ideas we can get now. And then as soon as we're allowed back in the room, we can blast out another 10 and see what we can do.
Yeah, so you guys can't even get together to practice and to work on music together, you know?
Yeah, luckily the past maybe 2 months, a month or so at least, we've been able to get back. So our ideas are flowing a lot more now. We have got a lot of material leading up to the second album. But yeah, in terms of writing the songs, it's usually just come up with an idea, we play around, I'll hum nonsense over the top of it, and then by the end of it, we have a song.
Wow.
I like I found a way to annoy Dan a lot actually in the Google Drive. If when I name a song, I just put like song 1, song 2, song 3, like song 6, 7, whatever.
Right.
And he really annoys him because he doesn't know which one he's looking at. But I know them all straight away. You know, the second he mentions it. But it's
right.
Yeah.
It's just
kind of adding a little fun to the process.
When you have song 1 to 41 and you're standing in the rehearsal room going like, song 27, let's go, and you're going, what?
I know what it is.
It's not easy.
I know what it is straight away.
They do make you do like that, name that tune where you give like a couple beats of the song and you're like, oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Anything guess the riff or guess the song, buys up my.
That's great. So, when do you think that you might be looking to actually lay down the tracks to create the next album?
We've just been.
You say it.
We've just been in the studio. Hold on. Go on.
Not you.
Right.
Go.
Anyway, last week.
I'm like, 2 minutes. Did I miss something? Okay.
We didn't know who was going.
We actually went into the studio where we recorded Step in Line, and we have now recorded the first single from the second album.
Awesome.
Next week, we are recording the video to this said single.
Wow.
So we've hired out.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we've hired out a huge church.
Really?
Yeah. And
Spoiler alert.
And that's all we can say.
No, I don't want you
Get
to
up now.
do not divulge your intellectual property. No, that's fine. That's great to hear.
We're looking at releasing the first single very, very soon. And then hopefully the sooner we can get into the studio and record the rest of the album, the sooner the better, really, because I absolutely can't wait to let everyone hear what we've been working on, because it's very exciting at the moment.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Wow.
We had such a short time in the studio there doing the single, and we're all just like reminiscing about the last album, going like it was literally the best crack, all of us together.
Right.
And we're just can't wait to get back in again, like, and let's sort out album number 2.
Oh, that's fantastic. So any of the shows that you had, like the big shows that you had in the works, have any of those been rescheduled yet, or is everybody just kind of sitting on their hands and waiting until, we know more for sure what's going to happen?
Pretty much everything's been rescheduled now, hasn't it, I think?
Yeah.
We've got like the one date, like next month, I think, or the month after in like France, but
yeah,
everything else has just been rescheduled. No one's got a clue what's going on. So
yeah. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of stuff over here on hold, and we have this big festival in Baltimore, Maryland, with a lot of the top bands, hair bands from the 80s.
Yeah.
And I think it's been rescheduled 2 or 3 times already. But it's a big festival and it's outside, so
yeah, of course.
Because I know
Motley
that.
Crue and Def Leppard one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I was like looking for. Well, don't think there was any UK dates announced, but I remember seeing that, and then that just got put on hold, like, and everything else followed through, like, and
yeah, it's like there's this. Everybody keeps putting this thing on Facebook, and it says, "Reach out to your friends who go to concerts. They're not okay."
Yeah, same actually.
Not okay.
The weird thing is as well for the festivals, it's like, obviously, especially with the bigger ones, they're booking 2 years ahead.
Right.
So we had festivals that were booked for 2021, but obviously this year's version of the festival couldn't go ahead because of everything going on. So there's things where they'll have to push this year's lineup to next year. And then we haven't even spoke about the 2021 arrangements, because obviously nobody quite knows what to do yet.
Yeah.
So it's whether they choose a different lineup the following year, or you stick with that and try and overlap it in 2022, for instance, or.
Right. It's one of those things where I look at that, and I have to do that with my own business as an agent. Is, you look at your festival, you have this large festival lineup, and you think, that people are sitting behind the table thinking, well, what are we doing? Are we going to use, new bands, or are we going to use the bands that we were supposed to have last year? And I'll be honest with you, I think it would be an atrocity to not keep that same lineup, because when bands look forward to doing these big festivals, like I'm sure you guys do,
yeah,
to have that taken away from you by something that you had no influence on is really unfair.
Yeah, of course.
I'm hoping that these large festival promoters, where you are, where I am, I hope they take all that into consideration, because a lot of the bands that are doing these are opportunities of a lifetime to kickstart their careers, and they deserve to have that. So do the right thing, festival promoters.
Lucky enough, though, everything big we had is still going ahead just for next year.
I mean, most of them. We've got like the odd one or two which still haven't really give word on it, but
happening.
Just have to see what happens with them. But majority of them are still same lineup, there or thereabouts.
That's good.
Most of that though, like, hit us the hardest, because like this year we got festivals that we, like some of us been going to for like years, and to be given a slot on that festival, and then it's like this is going to be a great year,
right?
Next minute everything's cancelled. It's like, how do you even deal with it? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It gets in the way of the momentum of it, because obviously coming off the back of the tour and the album, we were like, oh, this is great, and then to lead into the summer where we would have had some of the biggest festivals in the UK, especially for us,
right?
For it to not go ahead and to be kind of almost the icing on the cake to what we've already done this year,
right?
It is a bit of a kick in the nuts, but it's one of them where we are still booked for next year's version of it. So provided they still want us there, we will absolutely 100% turn up and give our best show next year, regardless of.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. I hope that you guys get to do that kind of thing because you deserve it.
Thanks so much.
What there was some, I saw something online. What was it? Heretic on live? Was it a live on YouTube or something festival?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So it was in the UK. I'm not sure about America, but a lot of the festivals that haven't gone ahead this year have pretty much made every effort to at least do something, and the majority of that is basically putting on an online festival. So whether they have live clips of the bands, from playing shows, or any music videos or news or interviews, a lot of these festivals are basically compile a program of all the bands that we're going to be playing on the festival, or maybe one or two surprises. And they'll go, sorry, we can't be here this year. We've done this program of, shows or videos. We're definitely going ahead next year, but to tide you over, because nobody's allowed out the house, feel free to watch this for the weekend. And to be fair, I'd say 90% of the festivals that we're going ahead this year have done something similar.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I wish, it's a shame because I'm really not privy to any of that. So I would have loved to have seen, those kinds of things. I think we had a couple here, but nothing really, I don't think, to the scale that you're talking about. It would be a great idea for somebody to get on board and, do something like that, because who knows when anything's going to happen. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but
yeah, well,
we can all wait for your talent. We'll wait. I'll wait.
It's mainly from a fan's point of view, because obviously we do miss playing shows, but for instance, we have a Classic Rock. So the guys who obviously we were speaking about before, they're putting together a web fest. So most of the UK bands and some Australian and American bands as well, I believe, all the upcoming bands, they're doing a web fest, whereas it's a similar kind of scenario where everyone submitted videos of either, we've done a special acoustic show for them because we wouldn't have normally done that, but we wanted to play a few songs stripped back.
Right.
And some people have footage from festivals they played last year or in the past few years, and it's another way of saying, for the people who haven't left the house or haven't been able to go to any form of entertainment, which is everyone.
Right.
If you do want to set aside the time, we've put all this together. We've asked every single band to donate videos and performances. And you can support them via PayPal or money and help get the bands paid, as well as enjoying something that you wouldn't normally.
Right. When a release time on that, would you send me a link?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be more than happy to promote that over here, to just try to drive people to to different countries to hear fabulous music. I mean, why not?
Well, I can't big up the New Wave of Classic Rock group enough. So if you were to join the Facebook group, the Reception of Everybody's a rock music fan, and you'll be able to find it there. I've actually got the date, which we are playing the 16th of August. But it's on the Facebook group, so if you're part of that or part of the Webfest page, you'll be able to view the whole day.
Fantastic, thank you. If you can shoot that link to me, I'll post it out on Facebook.
Absolutely.
And I'll tag it with your video, with your interview as well.
Thank you very much.
Sure, you got it. Well, I'm about out of time, guys. It has been an awesome experience talking to you guys. You're all so nice, and I wish you so much success. I look forward to hearing all your new music and becoming a lifelong fan. Before we go, I always like to play this little game. Don't get nervous. Everybody always gets nervous when I say game. Oh, God. Don't overthink it, and each one of you can answer individually. I just give you two scenarios, and you tell me which one you like. Which is your preference, put it that way. So the first one is studio or tour?
Tour.
I'm going to go tour.
Yeah.
Me.
That's a hard one, Matt. That's not fair.
That was tough. That was very tough there.
I'm gonna say tour myself because it's well fun, but I like the studio because you get to see
everything you worked on.
Right.
And what you're going to tour with?
Yeah, what you going to be touring with? Yeah.
That was a mean question there.
Staying an independent artist or going with the label?
Label.
Probably.
Kind of like the freedom of being independent.
But you want the money of the label.
I don't know what that's like. You know something I don't.
My phone's been blocked, by the way, today.
Yeah.
So I need the label money.
And the last question is lyrics or music?
Music.
Music.
Music. Sorry, Don.
Sorry.
We know what Dan's saying.
It depends whose lyrics they are.
Right.
Oh yeah, no.
Of course.
There's times I'll sit there and just get aggravated by either the music or the lyrics. So the thing is that I'm going to say music because there's some. If you can't listen to it, it doesn't matter what they're saying. Half the time, I guess.
Yeah, if it's all
No music, it's poetry.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I just want to tell people that are watching our show today where they can find you guys, hear your music, etc. So for your website, it's revivalblack.com for show information, some of your bio information, and purchase your merch. Very important to purchase band merch. Your videos are out on YouTube. They can contact, for bookings, they can contact, the address is contact@revivalblack.com.
Yeah.
And they can also catch you on Instagram @revivalblackofficial and on Twitter @revivalblack_.
Correct.
Correct?
Yeah.
Anything I'm missing so that we can make sure we have you covered?
Oh.
Facebook.
And of course on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Facebook. Yeah.
Absolutely. Once again, guys, thank you so very much.
No, thanks very much for
your
having us.
time. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your talent, and I wish you huge success, which I am probably about 100% confident you're going to achieve. So keep rocking, and I look forward to new music and talking to you over your way.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for having us.
Have a good night.
Thanks again for having us.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a great day, guys, and stay well.
You too.
You too. Keep your lips.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.